Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to The Spoken. Today is the 29th, or excuse me, the 30th of April. We came back from the weekend. We had a big weekend in sports. We weren't able to get back to you on Friday at the first day after the draft because we had a lot of things going on. Derrick went out of town. Actually went out of town, won a tournament. AAU coach, Mocan, went down to St. Louis and won a tournament back home with a trophy. So he's a bit busy.
Derrick. Congratulations.
Had my anniversary with my girl on yesterday, so we're busy there. And Lance
did nothing. I watched sports.
Doing Lance. So, you know, back to sports now. First, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs football right now. We had the NFL draft on Thursday through Saturday this past weekend. And a first-round draft pick was Mr. Poe from Memphis. A lot of mixed reviews about that. We'll talk about it a little bit more. But first of all, what letter grade would you give the Chiefs for this NFL draft? Let's start with Lance today.
Not very happy today, fellas. Just let everybody know. You know, I said initially before, the day before and the day of the draft, that I felt that this was going to be maybe the most pivotal and important draft the Chiefs have had in over 20 years. And the reason why is because this team is finally a complete team that has a lot of pieces on both sides of the ball. Usually the Chiefs either had a lot of offense or a lot of defense. And this team finally has a little bit of both, or actually a lot of both. And I felt that this was going to be the draft that was really going to set them in a place where they could really legitimately win a Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people don't say, well, the first pick is the biggest part. I do. I think that when you go first round and you pick a part, you got to build from that. And I think that the Chiefs went to a good position. Obviously, you guys know I wanted Tannehill, but I digress about that. I think there was other spots the Chiefs could have went, obviously defensive tackle. But I don't believe Dontari Poe was the best player at that position available. I think at 11, you had a lot of other options. You had Brockers, you had Copels, you had Fletcher Cox, you had other guys on the defensive line that you could use at that position. And I don't think Dontari Poe, with all the questions and concerns that people have had on the guy, I mean, a lot of athletic ability, granted, but there's been a lot of things about his mental stage, about his heart. A lot of people have talked about Albert Haynesworth with this guy. Can disappear in games, even though he is strong and probably the most feared guy on the line. Jeff Allen, offensive tackle. You know, those guys, all those pieces were good. You know, I thought that those are all, you know, good guys you could get on your team that adds depth. No doubt, no doubt. But it didn't excite me as a fan.
Right.
It didn't really bring me to a place where I was like, man, that's really going to take us to the next level. So at best, this team got me a C-. But my realistic one, I'm going to give him a D+ because I'm not optimistic they got the best players at each position they took. Because even on offensive tackle, there was other guys. Massey was still available, and they took Jeff Allen. Not understanding it yet. I hope they pan out, but I'm not impressed.
Very interesting. Williams, Derrick?
C+.
C+.
I see what they were doing. They went for depth at position offensive tackle, which is a position that you have to have depth at.
But for back-to-back rounds, though, second and third round?
Especially when you have Brandon Alvaro.
Yeah, because Brandon's coming up in his last year of his contract. You don't know how that's going to go, so you don't want to be unprepared.
Right, well, I understand that, but what message are you sending Brandon Albert by saying that, hey, we got a swing tackle just in case we don't sign?
I don't think you're sending Brandon Albert a message. I think
we have the money.
Yeah, but I think you could be safe because they might go out and still sign Brandon. I think what they're doing is they got caught last year, and they got exposed of not having any depth.
Right.
And I think this year they went after exposed depth. And when you look at, you know, their draft didn't excite us at all, right? But how many drafts has New England excited people? They draft guys that we don't know who they are, but they continue to blend them in and win. Belichick hasn't never had a draft where we're like, wow, did you see all those big name guys that the Patriots got? No, but every year they're competing for a Super Bowl or either playing in a Super Bowl.
We're not.
You don't have to have, we're not. But we're trying to get there, and you don't always have, because a lot of big time you go for just big name. Right. A lot of those guys a lot of times don't pan out, you know. And Poe kind of surprised me a little bit with that. I kind of wanted Hightower there. I thought we had a good chance to get a real solid linebacker there, and I thought we kind of blew it. But Poe is a project. He has a real high ceiling, and I think he has one of the best defensive coaches in the league. And I think that they're thinking that they're going to coach him up.
Okay, so you said C+ and you said D, and
D+.
D+. One thing I want to ask you about that too, since you said Poe's a project, yet when Lance and I were talking about Tannehill as being a possible project, that was kind of a shot down type of situation. Now he has a lot of upside, he has a lot of ceiling too, and a lot of potential too.
Tannehill's ceiling is not like this guy. This guy is some 300-something pounds and runs was he, 4'8"?
Right.
That is freakish athlete.
6'3",
And,
6.
and come on, man. That guy has the ability to clog the middle if they get this guy in there and they coach this guy up.
Yeah.
But
This
can I be
honest
honest with you? I think that
They had no nose
we all
tackle.
could agree though that Ryan Tannehill had more of an accomplished career in college than Don Terry Poe did.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
But
he played in what, Conference USA?
But we didn't. We had a bigger need at post position than we did at
I
quarterback.
can understand that. But
Technically, yes, but the thing is that you're talking about. You said you're talking about high risk, high reward with Don Terry Poe. That's exactly what
He's
I'm
a
talking about.
freak, though.
But what I'm saying
Tannehill's
is
no
Ryan Tannehill was the third best quarterback in this draft,
By who?
according to everybody. I mean, if you look at any analyst, you look at any draft board, Ryan Tannehill was the third quarterback coming off the board.
Yeah, but a month ago, hell, these guys didn't even know Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, we understand
This
that.
guy, this guy is a freak. Some guys you have to take a chance on.
Right,
And this was a guy, Poe. No,
That's
took a
my
risk on
point.
Jackson.
yeah, but Poe.
Yeah, he didn't pan out.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But Poe is a freak.
But see,
how
you're
many
talking
guys
about
have come along like this?
But you were talking about New England. You were talking about New England. You said they don't excite you. Very true. That's very factual. But the thing New England does that the Chiefs have not done is they got the right guys.
How do you know he's not right?
I didn't say that. That's why I said
Okay,
Don
yeah.
Terry Poe is a question.
Yeah.
Just like Ryan Tannehill
But
would be
so-
a question.
but 90%.
So we take a risk on
but-
Don Terry Poe.
but
Why don't we take
80%?
one on Ryan Tannehill?
Because we needed that position.
But Matt
so
Castle's
bad.
not a guy that's going to lead us to anything
we
based on
have,
what he's
but
done.
we have a starting quarterback already. We didn't have a starting nose tackle at all. At all.
Okay, well,
We needed that. We had to have
let's move
that.
on here now. Now we took an offensive tackle in the second and third round. Now was that a smart pick or was it I mean because it could have been one of those picks could have been towards a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because we had Pioli go on record this offseason and said that we're going to try to draft a quarterback every draft.
Yeah.
And that should be the blueprint what we're trying to do. Now we let Kirk Cousins go, and he's one of the guys that we're looking at as a future prospect. Now you're gonna let the Redskins get RG3 and then get Kirk Cousins as backup. How does that play out?
Yeah.
Well, why can we take risks?
I'm surprised.
Mindset.
I'm really shocked that the Chiefs didn't get a quarterback. I thought maybe
Not one.
they would get one maybe in the 6th round or
Right.
5th or
At
6th
least
round.
Kellen
At
Moore,
least.
somebody.
Or with Cousins or Kellen Moore sitting out there, I thought they would probably draft someone like that. I like Kellen Moore.
Or hell,
I told
See,
you guys
somebody.
before I
When
like
you guys agree with me on this, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this. You can hit us up on Twitter, but I mean, my feeling is them not getting a quarterback at all makes me feel that this is Castle's team regardless. Like that's I know everybody said, well, Brady Quinn's here, he can give us some
Yeah,
competition,
that's
but
the
Brady
message
Quinn
you're
has
sending.
not
That's the
been
message you're
really that great of a quarterback to say the least. So to me, it basically the body language showed me if Pioli was this is Castle's team, guys, because you whiffed on Peyton Manning, I understand that. But you don't even draft a quarterback whatsoever in
Right.
any draft in any round when there was quarterbacks available that a lot of people were high on.
But maybe they're thinking that none of the quarterbacks were better than Ricky Stanzi.
But how do we know that? Like we've been saying about how
no,
we've
it's
never
not
seen
what we
Stanzi
know.
play. Yeah.
This might be what they know.
But Stanzi didn't even play a snap last year.
Because
There's a reason.
we're not going to be the ones that are evaluating these guys
Right.
when training camp start. These guys are thinking, hey, they know what they have in camp, and they probably feel that the quarterbacks were left in the draft where none of them were better than Ricky Stanzi. And if they feel that way, I totally understand where they went with that. Because they just drafted Ricky Stanzi last year. Maybe they feel like that Haley never gave this guy a chance, and maybe we can coach him up.
But you'd agree with me. The third pick overall with Donald Stevenson. Yeah, I know the kid's from this area. I know he did a really good job, in OU. That's fine. But the Jeff Allen one in Illinois, the second pick, I was like, I wanted something else, but it's actually a good pick. I think it's
Okay.
pretty. The guy had 47 straight starts. All that great stuff. He's it says right here, long wingspan, strong legs, 85% blocking, 336 knockdowns, 49 touchdown resulting blocks, all those great things. But then you go Donald Stevenson at the same position. In my opinion, I think we had other needs that we could have met with that third pick.
See, he's the swing tackle, correct?
And the thing about Donald Stevenson, he has a lot of questions about him. Not good at power, finesse blocker, plays both tackle positions, which means he wasn't consistent on one side. So you don't know necessarily where his strengths are at. So my opinion, it's like you just got another guy with another big question mark. So you have two of your first three draft picks with question marks.
That's the thing they were saying about Poe. That's one thing Cornell came out on record and said that he's excited about Poe because of his athleticism, but at the same time too that he played all the positions on the line, so he didn't have one set position to show what he really had.
Right.
So now we're gonna put him as nose tackle,
Right.
and we're hoping that he can collapse the pocket, to help bring some pressure on the quarterback and let the linebackers do what they're supposed to do.
I think he will. A lot of guys, if they just get in the right system, man, they'll flourish in there. We don't know what kind of system he was even in at Memphis. There's nobody right here even watching Memphis football game this year.
True, you can say that, man.
Well, okay, but if you even go further, Devin Wiley,
Okay, fourth round.
Fresno State wide receiver. 5'9", 185 pounds, projected 4th round. So we got him. We got him in. No, I think he's got. They compare him a lot to Wes Welker. I actually personally compare him more to a Percy Harvin. I think he's that kind of guy. But the problem is, and I'll give you some. I'll give you some of the positives. Obviously, he's compared to Wes Welker, kind of like a Harvin. He ran a 4.25, extremely fast. Okay, he's good outside route runner, which means he's good on the screens. Then you have he's good with the ball. He doesn't drop a lot of passes. But here's where I have a problem with it. We already have McCluster and Steve Breaston who have known to have some issues with injuries. Injury problems. That's the first thing that comes on his weaknesses. And then he has difficulty against jams on the line. Obviously, with Matt Castle, you're going to have timing. And if we're not getting our guys off the line, and he has a problem with that because he's smaller, how are we helping Castle?
How tall is he?
He's 5'9", 185 pounds.
Most 5'9", 185 pound guys do have problems getting.
That's what I'm saying. So why did we draft him in the 4th round? We could have got this guy later on. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. Why couldn't we get a guy with more size?
I think he was a special teams pick.
Yeah,
I think he was a special teams pick. I think that's what he was. I don't think
it's still no quarterback right there. We could have taken the quarterback in the 4th round.
Yeah, because you have.
Tell me how I'm wrong with that.
All great teams have to have special team, and
right. Yeah.
Our special team isn't one of the best in the league, and I think that's a position that in the 4th round you can really get some quality special team guys. I understand because we have to remember this team did a lot in the offseason, and they don't have as many holes as we had in years past.
But like I said,
but they're trying to fill in some areas.
Yeah, wide receiver there, and they got another wide receiver, I believe, from Michigan that we got later on. Was that later on in the draft?
That was later on in the draft. I didn't even try to run his numbers. I was pretty frustrated.
Then we got that running back.
I think those are special teams.
Yeah, Cyrus Gray brought in a lot of depth at running back. That's fine. You know, whatever. I wasn't upset about that. That's later in the round. But DeQuan Menzie, guys like that, cornerback, good picks. Like I said, these are fine picks. I'm not upset about that. Cornerback, yeah. DeQuan Menzie, good picks, good solid picks. But we didn't do anything I felt that took us to that next.